Hello, Paul Wilkinson here. This is a short video about the time I decided to record an album on these amazing looking instruments. These are called the Rowley Seaboard Block, and Rowley had been making a Seaboard Rise, which was a really big version of this keyboard, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit and what makes it rather a unique instrument. But sort of in 2018, maybe late 2017 and then into 2018, I had the idea of trying to record an entire album, a solo album, which I'll talk a little bit about, just on these instruments, just on these Rowley Seaboard blocks. So this was, late 2017, 2018, I had this idea, but I wanted to try and do it where it was live. So no overdubs, no multi-tracking. What you hear on the album is me just on those instruments. And I wanted to keep the recording very, very simple. And I also wanted to keep the recording, because I was traveling a lot, doing some concerts and things. I wanted to keep the recording so that I could record mobile wherever I was. So sort of at the start of 2018, I had this idea. First of all, I had one Seaboard block. You can see they're slightly different in their design. This one is one of the first 1,000, so it's quite a limited edition one, this one. And what you can do is you can link the blocks together like this and have them as a keyboard, or if you want the kind of organ look, you can link them like that. So you could have them one on top of the other. I did a couple of tracks like this, but most of them were done with the keyboard like that. And what I was able to do was split the sounds. So I could have one sound on one side and one sound on the other side. So I started playing around with this in 2018. I don't Rowley have had a few issues recently, and I think they ended up, maybe, I'm not sure, but they had to restart the company for various reasons. I don't know if they went bankrupt, I don't know, so I can't speak too much about that, but they're now bringing out a new one, so good luck to them. So I'd been down to Rowley, and they've been very supportive, and I mentioned this idea about this. So in 2018 I started kind of thinking about putting it all together. And what's great about this is I just put them next to each other, like I said, and had a little recording unit, just a Tascam recording unit, recorded at a really good bit rate, and so that I could just take it with me. So what's unique about these blocks is the fact that you've got different kinds of touch. So on the piano, you play the note, and the note's going to end. That's for certain. With the Seaboard, you've got various touches. You can kind of press into it. You can go either side of the note, and that changes the filters and the sounds. You can slide up to the note. You can use this panel here to pitch bend. So some of the various sounds I used would open up different filters as I slid up the keys. So it gives me the possibility of exploring more than one sound within that sound, if you like. So then I started recording, and you can see from the pictures you've seen there that I could just record wherever I want. The video I've shared a few days ago on my YouTube channel is a track called Castle Ride. It's worth saying, my son was only little back then, but I played all the pieces to him and he named them all, apart from one, which I'll talk about in a minute. But he came up with all the titles. And so the actual album title is called Bossbot, and that comes from my son's invention of some robots that live behind your eyes. He's a great storyteller. And so that became the theme music for our stories. So I quickly wrote that and came up with this kind of this bass line, which I was again playing on one side on the block, on the other side playing the right hand. Incidentally, they have octave change buttons, so whilst you're playing, I'm able to click the octave button and go up and down the octaves. So by sort of January, February, March time of 2018, I'd collected these sets of tracks that I knew would then eventually form an album. So then I went to see my friend Andy, who is a great sound engineer and sound producer and recording engineer, and he was pretty amazed at the sound that they actually got. And so we mastered it. It needed a little bit of mastering because sometimes the sound was a little bit central and not spread out. So for example, that Castle Ride that I just mentioned, that I shared on my YouTube channel a few days ago, that was done just at the local music institution that I used to work at. One morning, about 8:30, I just got the idea for this, and I just quickly set up before one of my students came, and that's just a one take. And to me, that music kind of transcends. Picasso said, "All art lies, but it points to the truth," and I'll never be able to play that again. I just caught it in that moment, and it was a very special moment for me. And if you haven't had a listen to the track, maybe do, and just try and still everything and shut your eyes and listen to that track and enjoy it. That's called Castle Ride. So then, as I say, I went to Andy's. We started to mix the album. We did we put maybe a little sort of crescendo on one of the bits where I really wanted to build up, but we didn't do any post-production apart from that. And then, behold, in April 2018, I released this album called Boss Bot. There's a few limited edition CDs as well, but it's on all the streaming sites. So there's one track on here which we changed the title, because Andy and Kim have a lovely dog called Milo, and when we started playing with it, this track, Milo just went crazy with the music, certain frequencies he must have been hearing. So we changed the title to Messing with Milo's Mind. I really enjoyed this project. It was such a different project to do. As I say, everybody at Rolly was very supportive as well. Inside the CD, there is a Roger Scruton quote of the great philosopher who sadly died a few years ago. Music is not just a language of the emotions, but a forum in which emotional tensions could be put in play so as to work towards their resolution of quietus. Music is therefore both the expression and the fulfillment of our deepest longings. So I tried to keep the album live. It's basically a live album. I really enjoyed doing it so much. So if you use streaming sites, please go have a listen and see what you think. And Castle Ride, which is a recent track that I've just uploaded on my YouTube channel, was from the album as well. There's Boss Bot on the back, which was drawn by our wonderful friend Edward Foster, who put what my son was thinking about with this character called Boss Bot into life. So thanks so much for watching this video. Go have a listen to the album. I hope you enjoy it. It was a really different project for me to be involved in and doing, and I've used these synths on various other tracks for people. So thanks for watching, and subscribe for more videos. Bye for now.